because yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power. Even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
He's so small.
So small.
Jake Paul was stunned after watching Gervonta Davis's intense, almost monster-like training, but he stayed positive and confident. Paul acknowledged Davis as a skilled fighter, yet emphasized his own preparation and mindset. He explained that positivity and self-belief have guided him through 5 years of relentless training and steady growth. Paul highlighted that despite countless sparring sessions, he has never been knocked out, a fact that fuels his confidence ahead of the fight. For Paul, entering the ring isn't just about raw skill. It's about proving that discipline, self-belief, and determination truly set him apart. The biggest obstacle preventing a potential clash between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul is the enormous difference in their weight classes. Davis has dominated in the lighter divisions, where his speed, timing, and explosive power allow him to overwhelm opponents closer to his size. Jake Paul, in contrast, is naturally much heavier and typically competes at cruiserweight. For both fans and analysts, the concern isn't just a small weight gap. It's a gulf that makes this matchup highly unrealistic. In boxing, when weight disparities are too wide, skill alone cannot bridge the divide. Size translates to added strength, endurance, punch resistance, and overall durability. That imbalance creates serious risks for the smaller fighter. Because of this, many believe the fight is unlikely to move beyond fantasy, regardless of hype, even with the entertainment value. Promoters must weigh safety and recognize the dangers of putting a naturally smaller man against a much larger opponent.
There's no way in hell this fight was ever going to happen. And the fact that y'all believed it, I don't know, you're stupid. So Rick Thompson, chairman of the Georgia Athletic Commission, told USA Today Sports that Paul's promotion company withdrew its request for permits and a rule waiver, citing the 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. The Rick Thompson guy straight up said they've been promoting something they should not have been. Come on, guys, use your brains. Y'all boxing fans, you understand this. This fight was never going to happen. This is the article from USA Today. It says the status of the proposed fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis under scrutiny because of the weight discrepancy between the two fighters. Rick Thompson is coming out and saying this stuff because he said he believes it's in the public's best interest to know that they've been promoting something they should not have been. Communications director for the Office of the Secretary of State told USA Today Sports the event will not be happening. But funny enough, tickets are still available. You can still purchase them online, and the fight is still listed on the State Farm Arena.
Controversy adds another layer as reports reveal Georgia declined to host Gervonta Davis, forcing Jake Paul to redirect his training and promotional focus toward Miami. The situation highlights the unpredictable nature of negotiations for high-profile exhibition fights. States must balance potential revenue against regulatory risks and reputational concerns before granting approval. For Davis, Georgia's rejection underscores how his name continues to spark both excitement and controversy. For Paul, however, Miami represents an ideal stage, aligning with his flair for spectacle and headline making. The relocation affects not only logistics, but also the energy surrounding the fight. With Miami now a hotspot for celebrity-driven combat events, the shift keeps the spotlight bright. Still, it illustrates how unstable and delicate the foundation of such promotional battles can be, where hype and obstacles collide.
Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul both let everybody know that the location for their exhibition fight has changed from Atlanta to Florida. And let me tell you, it wasn't because Jake Paul just woke up in the morning and decided that he was going to change the venue. No, it was because of politics once again getting in the way of a Gervonta Davis fight, the amount of times that local small politicians play around with Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis's fights is at the point of being ridiculous right now. There is no way without coercion that this many venues, that Gervonta Davis has this many problems with venues. But this time, it wasn't a problem with the venue. It was a problem with the state of Georgia. Now, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of the videos like this. That's a little $ by a comment. And thank you to my guy that did it yesterday with the big $5 holler. Thank you so much, man. I'll thank you directly in the video. But let's get to this because I'm sick of this, man. Every single solitary time, well, over the last 2 years, pretty much, and I'm saying this because I believe this to be true, pretty much since Gervonta Davis started having an argument with Turki Al-Sheikh.
Former champion Chris Algieri praised Jake Paul's impact on modern boxing, stressing that win or lose, Paul has marketed the sport in ways few traditional fighters could. Algieri noted that Paul has attracted entirely new audiences, fans who previously had no interest in boxing, by transforming his matches into crossover spectacles. Beyond competing himself, Paul has managed to lure well-known names into the ring, including stars like Gervonta Davis, who already command massive attention. This fusion of boxing with celebrity culture creates a unique atmosphere, blending sport and entertainment, while boosting pay-per-view sales from viewers who might never have tuned in otherwise. Algieri's argument is that Paul's promotional genius deserves recognition, even if he is not a world champion. His presence demonstrates that boxing's growth can depend on personalities bold enough to blur the line between athletic competition and mainstream spectacle.
Jake, but it's mostly a win-win for him.
Right, so what does Gervonta Davis...
Whoa, hold on.
I gotta That's what I want.
I
Chris,
didn't
go ahead.
even get to talk.
Please.
So, what has he done for the sport? I mean, manufactured or not, he went out there and he performed and he got knockouts and people tuned in. Boxing fans tuned in. And you can talk about that shoe fight and that shoe. They're not boxing fans. Gervonta Davis sold pay-per-views to boxing fans. And he got boxing fans to come to fights, which is so needed. Desperately needed.
They
in this
marketed
day and age.
him that way.
Nobody
You can market
sells.
anybody. You can market it
That's
that
not
way.
true.
You can market
That's
it that
not
way.
true.
And champ, you
He's
should know
marketing
better
way
because
more
you
than
and I
these guys.
were very marketable and never got any marketing except as opponents for high-level fighters. And you should know that. They talk about great white hypes and all this other stuff. No, that's absolutely not true. They manufacture what they want to manufacture. Shakur Stevenson can be marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Andre Ward was very marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Why do black fighters only get marketed when they're quote-unquote ghetto, when there's class guys who you can market as great examples? Shakur Stevenson, Andre Ward. So when I told yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm saying it. People complain because I'm too real, and I'm going to be honest. Why could Ray Leonard be manufactured as a... I don't use the word manufactured, because Ray Leonard actually was legit.
Great fighter.
But Ray Leonard promoted as the class guy, and it worked. Why could you do it back then, but now you can't do it? Andre Ward was gold medalist the same way, class, could speak, mature, poised, could fight his ass off. Why didn't you market him the way you marketed Ray Leonard? What happened between 1976 and 2004? Why are you marketing Why are you marketing only Thug Life? Why? And I'm not saying, okay, I wasn't a part of this because I was a big fan of the hip-hop gangster rap generation and all this other stuff. But as a 44-year-old, you start to realize the concept of the entire scope of things. Why are you not marketing guys like Shakur Stevenson more? Why are you marketing this guy who doesn't want any of the smoke? Shakur has wanted all the smoke. This guy doesn't want any of the smoke.
Analysts remain split when comparing Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. Critics argue Davis is simply too small, and the dramatic size difference makes the idea of a truly competitive fight unrealistic. For that reason, they suggest any meeting would likely be an exhibition rather than a sanctioned bout with ranking implications. The drawback, they claim, is that exhibitions lack genuine stakes and often fail to sustain fan interest over time. Supporters of Davis, however, counter that his blazing speed, refined skill set, and exceptional boxing IQ allow him to outclass Paul regardless of size. To them, the matchup is less about weight and more about pedigree. Davis has shared the ring with elite champions, while Paul's resume reflects limited experience. They envision Davis slipping inside, landing precise combinations, and making Paul appear awkward and inexperienced, proving that technique and ring craft can outweigh raw physical side.
Before I say any comment about it, my question is, what's the rules? And, like, are they going to actually try and knock each other out? Because it's going to be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah,
You know,
big time. Gervonta's so fast
and
and skilled.
Gervonta's gonna eat his.
I thought
guts.
Jake was going to fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed
No, that was
more-
actually getting.
That
is
sounded
the
more
craziest idea I've ever
Yeah.
heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
So
that.
what is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we
Yes.
don't punch
Yeah.
each other in the jaw?
Yep. Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
we-
very interesting.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah,
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
He's so small.
He's so small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person. He's tiny. How you've seen Floyd in person?
I've worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well,
Oh,
Floyd
dude.
likely has shoes on
Oh,
there.
dude, he's so small.
He's tiny.
Yeah. And he's so small. Wow.
Sonnen, never shy with his opinions, commented that Jake Paul surprised the public by suddenly shifting focus to Gervonta Tank Davis instead of Anthony Taylor, whom many assumed would be next. Sonnen emphasized that while Davis is a tremendous fighter, he isn't naturally gifted at selling fights or generating mainstream buzz. His skill inside the ring is unquestionable, but his promotional impact is far more limited. Jake Paul, by contrast, has crafted a career on both fighting and marketing, mastering the art of building storylines that capture attention well beyond traditional boxing circles. Sonnen's point was clear. Davis supplies credibility through elite talent, while Paul provides a promotional engine. Without this balance, the matchup wouldn't command its current level of interest. In many ways, it forms a partnership, one side showcasing raw boxing excellence, the other leveraging unmatched instincts for hype and spectacle.
It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for 2. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite is happening. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite, he could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport.
Some analysts argue that while Gervonta Davis is celebrated for his knockout power at lightweight and super featherweight, that same power would not carry over against someone the size of Jake Paul. They point out that Paul's natural weight and larger frame give him durability that Davis's punches may struggle to penetrate. In smaller divisions, Davis can overwhelm and break down opponents, but against a much bigger fighter, his shots might lose their usual impact. Their reasoning is straightforward. Physics matters. Skill and speed can close certain gaps, but size eventually acts as a shield. This skepticism reinforces a belief that a Davis, Paul matchup leans more towards spectacle than legitimate sporting contest, as Paul's physical advantages could neutralize the very weapons that make Davis dangerous.
Gervonta fight makes no sense to me because yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had, but even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out. So what are we even doing? Where's the idea of this gonna, where's the idea that Gervonta's even gonna hurt him? He may hurt him to the body, whatever. Jake doesn't want to throw as much, but I don't see him one punch knocking Jake out. And, the same thing was kind of said with Logan. Okay, Floyd probably won't knock him out, but probably going to outbox him. I get where Dana's coming from. These things are not meant to be competitive fights. They're meant to make money and to, I guess, scratch that itch of the circus mystery unknown.
And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd, but he's too small. I mean, your brother's going to be able to, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up. But I don't hate your brother. Your brother's out there doing his thing. But it cracks me up that they want to start suing people that are talking shit when your brother talks more shit than anybody talks.
I think the thought process behind it is, okay, so Jake and I are obviously pretty polarizing individuals, and when an echo chamber starts and a rumor mill starts of staged fight bullshit, which these fights aren't staged, that's just at that level it's almost impossible. I think they think that it affects the business and it affects the brand because people discredit him as actually having legitimate bouts. I think that's the theory. So to hold people accountable for
legitimate
perpetuating the rumor.
Legitimate meaning not fixed.
Correct. Yeah. And
Which is, I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying, right? So the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say what some people do say, which is, we like to see Jake challenge himself. We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you've said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look, another fake fight. Oh, look, he's staging another.
Critics argue that Jake Paul's rise in boxing is fueled not only by promotion, but also by a certain disregard for the legacy of past fighters. They point out that by enticing retired legends into the ring with promises of massive paydays, he risks undermining the sport's integrity. Even icons like Mike Tyson have been drawn back after years of retirement, a move that excites fans but sparks serious safety concerns. The boundary between entertainment and exploitation blurs when aging greats accept fights they would never have considered in their prime. While the financial rewards are undeniable, the danger is that boxing becomes more spectacle than sport, where reputations are risked and health is jeopardized. Jake Paul thrives on this edge, but to many, it proves he's willing to bend tradition purely for attention.
Perpetuating the rumor.
Legitimate meaning not fixed.
Correct. Yeah. And
Which is, I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying, right? So the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say what some people do say, which is, we like to see Jake challenge himself.
We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you've said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look, another fake fight. Oh, look, he's staging another one. Right? That's the thing that's, again, false. I get it. I get why they're upset, but I also get why people categorize it the way they do. You just got to be better with your words. That's it.
And not many of the fights are legitimate fights, but not being fixed. Hey, you hit me here and I hit you there.
Yeah, I mean that's insane. Like,
I agree.
Like let's choreograph.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when people are fucking saying stupid shit? People say dumb shit about me, my business, all the time.
True.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned. See you soon.